What's up, Steelers fans? Welcome back to the channel. Our Steelers are making big strides this season, sitting at an impressive 9-3 after an explosive performance against the Bengals. The team is sharpening its edges and aiming to bring home even better results. But today, we're diving into a topic that has fans buzzing: Russell Wilson. Wilson has brought a unique spark to this team, and some analysts are saying he's giving Mike Tomlin something even Ben Roethlisberger couldn't. Curious? Stick around for all the details. And before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Let's get into it. When Russell Wilson joined the Steelers, expectations were high but cautious. After struggling in Denver, many wondered if he still had the magic that made him a Super Bowl champion in Seattle. Fast forward to Week 13, and Wilson is not just meeting expectations, he's redefining them. Against the Bengals, Wilson recorded his second 400-yard game of his career, guiding the Steelers to a 44-38 win. While fans are thrilled, analysts like Colin Cowherd are pointing out an intriguing comparison. Wilson has brought something to Mike Tomlin that even Ben Roethlisberger didn't. The Steelers have always been a bit loose, overly dramatic, and undisciplined offensively, even in Big Ben's prime. But with Russell Wilson, Tomlin finally has the adult in the room the offense has desperately needed. Mike Tomlin has long been known as a motivator and a leader who excels at getting the best out of his players. But according to Cowherd, Wilson's disciplined and steady presence is exactly what Tomlin needed to bring balance to an offense that has historically leaned on chaos and big plays. Tomlin and Wilson are perfect for each other, Cowherd explained. Wilson needed a coach who wouldn't micromanage him, and Tomlin needed a quarterback who could bring maturity and stability to the offense. The partnership has already paid dividends. With Wilson at the helm, the Steelers' offense has become more disciplined and efficient, a stark contrast to the sometimes erratic play seen during the Roethlisberger era. The Steelers' offense has been on fire lately, and much of that credit goes to offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. Against the Bengals, the team racked up over 500 yards of total offense and scored 40-plus points for the first time since 2018. This newfound offensive prowess has put Smith in the spotlight, with reports linking him to both NFL and college head coaching vacancies. NFL insider Jay Glazer mentioned Smith as a top candidate for the Chicago Bears head coaching job, while Smith's alma mater, North Carolina, has also expressed interest. When asked about these opportunities, Smith was diplomatic but clear. "I appreciate the interest, but my focus is here. I've got one of the best jobs in football right now, and you can't put a price on personal and professional happiness." Still, the reality is that the Steelers could lose their offensive mastermind if the right opportunity comes along. For now, though, Smith remains a key piece of the Steelers' success. While Wilson's leadership and discipline have been game-changers, his on-field performance hasn't always been flawless. Outside of his 400-yard, 3-touchdown game against the Bengals, Wilson has yet to eclipse 300 yards in a game this season. His completion percentage has also dipped slightly compared to his time with Sean Payton in Denver. However, what Wilson has lacked in explosive stats, he has made up for with smart, efficient play and an ability to elevate those around him. At 9-3, Wilson is on track to play in his first playoff game since 2020. The question is whether he can hit a new ceiling with the Steelers, potentially delivering a playoff run that rivals his glory days in Seattle. What sets Wilson apart isn't just his arm or his stats, it's his approach to the game. Roethlisberger was a classic gunslinger, capable of pulling off jaw-dropping plays but also prone to taking risks that didn't always pay off. Wilson, by contrast, brings a calculated, disciplined approach that has helped stabilize the Steelers' offense. This has allowed other players, like George Pickens and Najee Harris, to shine in their roles without feeling the need to carry the team. Joey Porter Jr. burst onto the scene with all the qualities you'd want in a cornerback: aggressiveness, physicality, and a pedigree that screams Steelers football. But as we saw in the recent game against the Bengals, there's a fine line between playing tough and costing your team valuable yardage. Against Cincinnati, Porter was flagged multiple times, and while he made it clear in post-game interviews that he's frustrated, he also defended his style of play. "I'm mad at it," Porter told reporters. "I'm trying to be great at the end of the day, and those flags kind of get in the way." But like Coach Tomlin always says, if he's not tripping and my team's not mad about it, then I just gotta keep playing and doing my job. The frustration is understandable. Porter is a young, talented defender still finding his footing in the NFL. But the penalties, they're piling up, and it's starting to cost the team, not just in yardage, but potentially in momentum during key moments. Coming out of Penn State, Porter's physicality was one of his standout traits. Steelers Nation loved his aggressive style, and it's what made him a first-round pick. But as head coach Mike Tomlin famously put it, there's a fine line between drinking wine and squashing grapes. Right now, Porter is towing that line. Some of his penalties come from his signature style, pressing receivers hard at the line of scrimmage. But when those tactics extend beyond 5 yards or interfere with a receiver's ability to make a play, flags start flying. One recurring issue is his tendency to grab jerseys or impede receivers' catch points. In today's NFL, where offenses are heavily protected by the rules, those moves are risky. If Porter doesn't adjust, these penalties could end up costing the Steelers dearly in a playoff push. Porter isn't oblivious to the criticism. He acknowledged the issue but also feels like he's being unfairly targeted. "I feel like I've got a target on my back," he said. "Some of those calls, I feel like I'm not doing anything the average defensive back isn't doing. I just gotta keep working." His comments highlight a common sentiment among defensive players in the NFL: the rules are stacked against them. While that may be true, it doesn't change the reality that Porter needs to adjust his game to thrive in this environment. The Steelers are sitting pretty at 9-3, but let's be honest, every game from here on out is critical. One ill-timed penalty could be the difference between a win and a loss, especially in the playoffs. Porter's struggles highlight a broader issue: self-inflicted wounds. Penalties, particularly on defense, can extend drives and give opponents opportunities they wouldn't otherwise have. For a team that prides itself on discipline and toughness, this trend is concerning. Mike Tomlin has likely addressed this behind closed doors, as he's known for holding players accountable. But as Porter himself said, the team isn't tripping over his penalties, for now. Here's the challenge for Porter: how does he rein in his physicality without losing the edge that makes him special? Asking a cornerback to tone down their aggression is like asking a shark not to swim. It's part of who they are. But there are ways Porter can adapt. Refining technique, coaches will likely work with Porter on his hand placement and timing to avoid obvious fouls. Film study, breaking down his own penalties and learning from them is key to making adjustments. Mental toughness, staying composed and not letting penalties affect his confidence will be crucial. If Porter can strike the right balance, he has the potential to become one of the league's premier cornerbacks. As the Steelers gear up for the playoffs, the combination of Wilson's leadership and Smith's offensive creativity could make this team a real contender. But there are challenges ahead. The potential loss of Smith to a head coaching job would leave a void, and Wilson still has room for improvement if the Steelers are going to compete with the AFC's elite. Alright, Steelers fans, now it's your turn. What do you think of Russell Wilson's impact on the team? Has he brought something we've been missing since the Big Ben days? And how worried are you about potentially losing Arthur Smith? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Until next time, here we go, Steelers Nation.